He was 67, married for over 40 years, and still looked at his wife the same way he did on their wedding day. But lately, something had changed. Quiet nights, awkward silences, a growing distance he couldn't explain. His doctor called it aging. That's just what happens after 60, they said. But one morning, while making his usual cup of coffee, he noticed something simple in his kitchen that would quietly begin to change everything. Not a supplement, not a prescription, just a common household item, something he'd used for years without ever knowing what it could really do. That morning, he stirred it into a glass of water. Within weeks, the coldness in his hands faded, his energy returned, and intimacy, something he thought was behind him, quietly returned too. This isn't magic, it's not hype, it's science. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how that item works, why no one's talking about it, and how you can use it to reclaim your vitality naturally, starting now. Because it's never been about age. It's always been about circulation. Most men don't talk about it. Not to their wives, not to their friends, sometimes not even to themselves. But it shows up, slowly, silently, in everyday moments. You forget what it feels like to wake up with energy. A short walk feels longer than it should. Your hands and feet are colder, even in the summer. But the hardest part? You stop feeling like yourself. For many men after 60, the loss of intimacy isn't about desire. It's not about love. It's about blood flow, poor circulation. You see, the blood vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, your brain, your muscles, and yes, even your most private places, start to narrow and stiffen with age. And as they do, you lose more than warmth in your fingers. You lose the spark in your connection. The tragedy is, most men blame themselves. They think it's age. They think it's stress. But what's really happening is inside your blood. Nitric oxide, a compound your body makes naturally to help your arteries expand, starts to decline after 50. That means less blood flow, less oxygen, and less responsiveness. Not just in your body, but in your confidence, your clarity, and your relationship. I've spent over 30 years working with men who came into my office feeling ashamed. They weren't sick, they weren't broken, but they felt invisible. And what they really wanted wasn't a pill. It wasn't a performance enhancer. It was to feel like themselves again, like a man, present, strong, connected. If any of that feels familiar to you, then you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not past the point of change, because there's something you can do about it. Something safe, something simple, and chances are, it's already in your kitchen. What if the first step to restoring your vitality wasn't in a pill bottle, but in your pantry? I'm talking about something you've probably used for decades. You've baked with it. You've cleaned with it. You've maybe even mixed it in water to settle an upset stomach, but almost no one talks about what it can do for circulation. I'm talking about baking soda. Yes, simple baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Now, before you raise your eyebrows or click away, hear me out. Used correctly, baking soda can help support your blood vessels, improve oxygen flow, and create the kind of internal environment where your body feels younger, more energetic, and more alive. Let's talk about how. After 60, your body becomes more acidic. That acidity makes your arteries tighter, stiffer, and slower to respond. It increases inflammation and makes it harder for your blood to deliver oxygen where it matters most. And when that happens, you feel it. In your energy, in your clarity, and yes, in your intimacy. But when you introduce a small amount of baking soda at the right time, something powerful happens. You start to neutralize that acidity. You help your blood flow freely again. In medical terms, you're improving vascular flexibility. You're giving your blood vessels space to expand, carry oxygen, and support healthy nitric oxide production. That's the molecule your body uses to tell blood vessels to open up. And when that happens, everything improves. Your energy picks up. Your hands and feet stay warmer. Your stamina returns. And intimacy no longer feels distant. It's not magic. It's chemistry. It's circulation. Now, I'm not saying baking soda is a cure-all. But I've seen dozens of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s experience real changes after adding this simple habit into their weekly routine. I remember one man, Frank, 74. He came to me saying he felt dim. That was his word. Like the lights were on, but everything was a little dull. 3 weeks after starting this habit, he looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I don't know what happened, but I feel switched on again." You could see it in his posture, his voice, his presence. That's what circulation does. It doesn't just power your body, it powers your life. And baking soda, when used the right way, might just be the key to getting that power back. Now that we've uncovered how this common kitchen item, baking soda, can help support circulation and improve intimacy, it's time to talk about something even more important: how to use it the right way. Because here's the truth most people miss. Even natural remedies can backfire when used incorrectly. And after 60, your body needs care, not guesswork. First, let's start with the dose. The most effective and safest way to begin is with just 1/4 teaspoon of pure food-grade baking soda. Not heaping, not rounded. A flat 1/4 teaspoon is enough. Stir it into a full glass, 8 ounces, of room temperature water. Not cold, not hot. Room temperature helps it dissolve better and is gentler on your stomach. When should you take it? First thing in the morning, before breakfast, before coffee, and definitely before any medication. Why? Because after a night of sleep, your body is slightly more acidic. That's natural. And this is when baking soda does its best work, helping gently restore pH balance, easing tension in blood vessels, and setting the tone for better flow all day long. But here's what makes this method powerful. You don't take it every day. Start with 3 to 4 times per week. Every other day is a great rhythm. Your body isn't a machine. It thrives on balance, not overload. Too much baking soda can introduce too much sodium, which may backfire, especially if you have high blood pressure or kidney issues. Want to boost the effect even more? Add a few drops of fresh lemon juice to the mix. Why? Lemon helps support liver function, enhances digestion, and works in synergy with baking soda to gently stimulate nitric oxide, the very molecule that helps blood vessels expand and carry blood more freely. I had a patient named George, 73, who told me, "Doc, I tried everything, but this? Just a glass of this each morning, and my fingers are warmer, my thoughts are clearer, and I actually feel like getting out of the house again." It didn't change his life overnight, but over 3 weeks, it helped his blood flow. It helped his mornings feel lighter, and it reminded him that he's still very much alive. Here's a bonus tip: stay hydrated. Baking soda works best in a well-hydrated body. That means sipping water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Good hydration supports better blood volume, oxygen transport, and organ function, including your heart, brain, and reproductive system. And if you're currently on blood pressure medication, heart medication, or diuretics, check with your doctor first. This isn't about fear. It's about respect. Your body has carried you through decades. It deserves support, not stress. To recap, use 1/4 teaspoon of food-grade baking soda, mix with 8 ounces of room temperature water. Take first thing in the morning, before food or coffee. Do it 3 to 4 times per week. Optional, add lemon juice for extra benefit. Stay hydrated and listen to how your body responds. Done right, this becomes more than a health habit. It becomes a quiet ritual, one small act of care that can ripple through your energy, your confidence, and your most intimate moments. Even though using baking soda can be incredibly helpful for circulation and vitality, many men unknowingly make simple mistakes that prevent them from seeing results, or worse, create new problems. These aren't dramatic errors, they're quiet habits that creep in, and once you know them, they're easy to fix. Mistake 1: taking too much. More is not better. It's tempting to think that doubling the amount will speed up the benefits, but it doesn't work that way. Taking more than 1/4 teaspoon can overwhelm your system with sodium, irritate your stomach, and even raise blood pressure, especially in men with pre-existing heart or kidney conditions. Always remember, the power of baking soda is in the precision, not the volume. Mistake 2: taking it every day without breaks. The body needs cycles of rest, even from healthy habits. Drinking the mixture every single day for weeks at a time can upset your natural electrolyte balance. This often leads to bloating, fatigue, and a feeling of being off. Stick to 3 to 4 times per week, spaced out evenly. Give your body time to respond and reset between doses. Mistake 3. Using poor quality or non-food grade baking soda. Not all baking soda is created equal. Some products contain aluminum or anti-caking agents that don't belong in your body. Always use pure, food-grade baking soda, the kind labeled safe for consumption. If it doesn't say food grade, don't drink it. Mistake 4. Taking it after a large meal. Baking soda is alkaline. When taken right after eating, especially heavy or greasy meals, it can interfere with digestion by neutralizing stomach acid too early. This leads to bloating, poor nutrient absorption, and discomfort. The best time remains first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Mistake 5. Ignoring other factors. Baking soda is a tool, not a miracle. It can support better circulation, but if your diet is filled with processed foods, if you're dehydrated, or if you're not moving your body regularly, the impact will be limited. Think of it as a spark, not the whole engine. Pair it with hydration, basic movement, and whole foods for best results. Mistake 6. Not checking with your doctor if you have health conditions. This is especially important for men taking medications for blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney function. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. It adds sodium to your system. In the wrong context, that can be risky. Always loop your physician in if you're managing a chronic condition or if you're unsure how this fits with your medications. These mistakes aren't about shame. They're about awareness. Most of the men who come to me didn't realize how these small missteps were holding them back. Once we made a few adjustments, the benefits returned. Energy improved, blood flow supported, confidence came back. A single teaspoon taken the wrong way can cancel out the benefits of a week done right. But when you avoid these common errors, you give your body the space it needs to respond and heal. Next, we'll bring it all together with the conclusion and a personal story that shows how powerful this small daily habit can be. There's a man I think about often. His name is Leonard. He was 74 when he walked into my office, not because something was urgently wrong, but because something had slowly gone missing. He said, "I just don't feel like me anymore." Not sick, not in pain, just distant from himself, his wife, and the life he used to enjoy. We talked. We looked at his blood flow, his energy, and how he felt about his body. What we found was something so many men experience after 60, a quiet breakdown in circulation that chips away at your clarity, your strength, and your connection day by day. I showed him exactly what I shared with you. A small dose of baking soda, a glass of water, a little consistency, and a lot of patience. He did it. Just 3 times a week. Morning, empty stomach, no rush, no expectations, just an open mind. 3 weeks later, he returned, not transformed, but brighter. "I don't know what's happening, but I feel more awake," he said. His hands weren't cold anymore. He walked a little farther on his morning stroll. His wife noticed he was laughing more at the dinner table. Small things, but they mattered. He didn't feel invisible anymore. And that's the truth I want to leave you with. This isn't about chasing youth. It's not about magic pills or miracle cures. It's about supporting the body that's carried you through decades of life and giving it a little help to keep going. Because aging isn't failure, it's change. And circulation is one of the first systems to whisper for attention as that change happens. Baking soda used safely and intentionally isn't just a kitchen staple. For many, it's the beginning of something better. More energy, better sleep, a warmer touch, a clearer mind, and maybe even the return of a part of you that's been missing. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start. So here's my invitation to you. Tomorrow morning before breakfast, pour a glass of water. Stir in 1/4 teaspoon of food-grade baking soda. Drink slowly. No rush. No pressure. Do this 3 to 4 times a week. Watch how your body responds. Listen. Respect the process. If you're on medication, talk to your doctor first. But don't wait for permission to care about yourself again. This is your life, your energy, your spark, and it's not gone. It's waiting. And sometimes all it takes is one small habit to remind your body, your mind, and your heart that you're not done. Because you're not. You still matter. You still have more to give. And yes, there's still more life left to feel.